Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the 157 Show. Once again, my name is Jonathan. Sitting over here is Auburn Austin, as I said on the last video.
Auburn Austin. Sounds good.
Once again, guys, you know, as always, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Drop some comments below. Let us know what you guys are thinking. You know, even before you even watch the episode, if you want to drop a comment before then, that's fine too. Definitely drop it after the episode.
Yeah, one thing to consider this week: got college game day. Going to Penn State.
Big games. Big games.
And then Alabama going to Florida, the Swamp.
Big games.
Yeah.
So again, this is going to be our week 3 preview going into these big games, these big time games. ACC play for Alabama opening up, and then Auburn has their big out of conference game with Penn State. So I mean, I guess we'll go ahead and start with Auburn. You know, get your thoughts on that. What are you thinking over there?
So it's college game day and it's going to Penn State, baby. I'm so excited.
See, as Alabama fans, we seem to like get it a lot, so it's kind of like we're kind of numb to it now. But
yeah,
go ahead.
It's always exciting. So I mean, it's the 23rd appearance at for both programs actually. So it's kind of interesting, and we know that Penn State's doing the Whiteout.
That is exciting in itself. I definitely want to see that one day.
Yeah, well, there's going to be some orange contrast in there because Brian Harsin has requested fans that are traveling. So if any of y'all are traveling, wear orange.
I mean, I think just that atmosphere is crazy. And if I'm not, that's a whiteout, obviously, but it's a nighttime game.
Yeah, I think it's 6:30.
Okay, so it's gonna be rocking.
Oh yeah, for sure. Interesting about whiteouts, and I don't want to get too in depth about it, but Penn State's only 8-8 in their whiteout game since they've introduced it. Yeah, but they save it for like Ohio State, Michigan, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting them to be 16-0.
That's kind of like Georgia and the black uniforms that they bring out. They tend to lose when they wear them.
Yeah. So it's time, game day. The first thing I see, I'll just go and be honest with you, Bo Nix is not known for playing
games
away from Auburn. He's not known for playing well, so I'm a little bit nervous there. I'll be honest.
It's gonna be a good test for him. Away game, night game, whiteout game. There's a lot of factors coming into this.
And there's one thing that I do want to elaborate on with the whiteout is that's all I hear about. That's all I've heard about all week is whiteout. Talk about your team. You know, what are you bringing to the table? What's the defense going to bring? What's the offense going to bring? Which leads me to my next point is I think that both of these teams are the almost exact same.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I haven't seen anything from Penn State. I haven't watched them not a single down.
Yeah.
So I don't know nothing about going into this.
From my reading and kind of watching some clips, the quarterback is Sean Clifford. So he's got some accuracy issues, but he can scramble. So he's kind of similar to Bo Nix in that aspect. The cornerbacks, the secondary is pretty strong. Their defensive linebackers are okay, similar to Auburn, where the backfield or the cornerbacks are the strong point. So they mimic each other in those ways. The quarterbacks are both kind of struggling, and the offensive line is kind of the weaker of the program.
Right.
So it's interesting. I think what's going to happen is in the hot take of the week, right here, you heard it here, Auburn's going to have 2 running backs with 100 yards for the 3rd straight week.
Really?
Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter will have over 100 yards apiece.
Now, how much does the passing game affect?
That's why they're going to have over 100 yards. I want them to get in there, and this works for either team. I think Auburn's going to win. I'll go ahead and say that. But I'm saying that whoever gets in there and causes some confusion causes confusion for the quarterback is going to have more rushing opportunities on their side.
Right.
So I'm hoping that Auburn gets in there and establishes the run game, and that way, you know, people start cheating up. They start expecting
bring them safeties in, linebackers in close.
Then Bo Nix can kind of open up, and just all he's got to do is take what the defense gives him.
Right, and that's a problem he's had. And last year, the year before that, I've seen it myself. He gets that one read, he looks at it, and then he's scrambling. Now, that could be one of two things. Either him or the offensive line just didn't block very well, and he has no choice but to go.
Yeah, and that is kind of both. Let's be honest. It was kind of both.
See, and to me, again, I haven't watched much Auburn games, so seeing Bo Nix kind of some of the stats he's put up so far, passing and stuff, I'm kind of impressed a little bit, but at the same time, I know what he's known for the last 2 seasons. So
Yeah.
this is going to be his first real true test and see how far he's developed as a quarterback and as a pocket passer.
Correct. I'm glad you add on to that. It's not his first real test going away because people keep talking about the whiteout. Oh, whiteout this. But it's like, okay, his freshman year, he played at Florida in the swamp. He played at Baton Rouge, and Auburn should have won that game 100%. It was 23-20. It was just pitiful.
Yeah.
I mean, he's traveled to Mississippi State. He's traveled to Kyle Field. He's did this. He's been there, done that. He plays in Alabama and Auburn every year. Seismic activity comes up on the scales.
Yeah. Big time noise.
Yeah.
I mean,
And so the whiteout is going to be a unique experience. I'm sure the team's excited for it, but I think that the hype of it is a little bit over the top.
right.
To be honest.
Now, if Penn State, I don't think they're necessarily. I don't know. I mean, I'm just speaking off the cuff here.
Yeah, no,
I
you're
don't
fine.
know if Penn State is a top 10 team, ranking wise and ability wise right now. I don't know where their rankings at right now, and again, I haven't watched very much, but nobody seems to be talking about the buzz of Penn State. From everything I'm seeing, they're not really, bringing that up other than the whiteout that's happening.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
And I may be putting on the orange and blue glasses here, but I think Auburn is a more talented football team. I mean,
SEC football, recruits wise, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
It's just the fact of development wise, and game experience is key. You can have all the talent in the world. You got to give them that. This is a totally different ballgame coming from high school to college ball.
So what I want to see this weekend, I want to see Auburn go in there, not have a slow start. I want them to just have a normal pace start, establish the run game, get a good stop on defense, and just work towards scoring points.
Right.
Easy. Don't do anything flashy. Just go in, win the game. Don't make mental mistakes.
Right.
I'm not trying to ask for a lot. I hope that the defense puts a lot of pressure on Clifford, forces him to throw the ball because our secondary is so good. I think that Roger McCreary will eat it up.
Right.
So I'm hoping he's going to be guarding Jahan Dotson is their number one wide receiver. So that's going to be an interesting matchup there.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, again, this is the first true overall test for Auburn. I'm not saying that they haven't seen adversity, because that last game with Alabama State in the early quarters, it's not necessarily a blowout early on, but this is their first evenly matched up of opponent wise.
Yeah, like I said, I think that these teams really mimic each other.
Right.
I think they are 1-to-1, honestly. So I mean, it's interesting. I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out. Okay, so right now, who's going to win?
My gut leans towards Auburn, honestly.
War Eagle.
I'm just saying. I think I'm gonna go for the SEC anyway, because one, I hate the Big Ten overall. I just absolutely hate the Big Ten. Second on that list, ironically, ACC, Clemson. I hate Clemson. Clemson and Florida State in the ACC. Absolutely, I hate.
We'll talk more about that when Alabama's in the playoffs this year.
We got to get there first.
Yeah.
Auburn's true test coming up this week, guys. It's going to be definitely a good matchup. Make sure you tune in for that, and come back over here when we do our reviews for that.
Oh, one more thing about this. What's interesting is that Harsin requested for fans to wear white to the Akron game, and its starting time was 6:30. So it's like a little bit of getting ready for the whiteout.
It's going to be.
I heard it locked on Auburn, so I give him the credit there. But it's interesting, and I appreciate that because he's playing chess. He's like Saban.
Yeah, you got to get in the mind.
He's getting
somewhere.
in the mindset, kind of getting ready for the environment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to get in the minds there. Again, first time true test for Auburn. Even a fairly even matchup there. It's gonna be a big time game. Make sure you guys tune into that. Come back over here, check us out for, I think we're going to record it maybe the day after, right after that, something like that. We're going to try and get the video out as fast as we can so we guys can, keep you guys up to date and refreshed and stuff and what's going on in the game. But I guess, moving over to Alabama.
Want to talk about Alabama, Florida?
Yeah, moving into the SEC play. Pretty exciting stuff.
Game day didn't go there.
Game day did not go there, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I feel like the AP voters kind of cheated Florida out of a top 10 because they didn't want a top 10 matchup. I just feel that way because they're number 11, and to me, a couple of the teams in front of them are kind of, I don't know.
You really couldn't and I hate to say this, you couldn't justify going to game day.
No.
Sending game day to Penn State and Auburn if you have a top 10 in the SEC.
No.
That's going to possibly be an SEC or SEC championship.
Possible rematch.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
it's a big deal. But again, I think they kind of cheated him out there. But it's a big time matchup either way. Top 15 at least. Alabama coming in. Didn't look too hot starting off last week. Maybe they, hopefully they corrected all that stuff. They do have both their corners back with Josh Jobe and Jailer Armandamus. Jailer, I can't even say his name. But anyway, he's the other corner. I'll go with that. But those two were out for the game last week. So that I think that contributed to the score a little bit. But
the 14 points.
Yeah, the 14 points that they gave up. But they did move the ball, but it was a kind of a weird offense. It wasn't a traditional offense that you see. But now the Chris Anderson
Injury
play is a day by day. So maybe he'll get in the game. He may not play as much as we would like. Maybe critical third down passing situations, something like that.
May not be there, but his presence will be felt.
Oh yeah, for sure. But and like I said, third down pass situations, you can just about guarantee he's going. They're going to put him in the game if he's healthy enough. But Saban said he was day to day. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to make sure I'm just ramble off everything on top of my head. Quarterback situation, Bryce Young looked pretty decent last week. It's going to be a good matchup, I think, overall. Now, Florida, since we're Florida, they are playing a 2-quarterback system going on here. I think there may be a little bit of controversy in the quarterback room going on down there. Emory Jones is not looking too hot, which is their supposed to be their number one guy.
And he was the backup last year to Trask.
He was the backup last year to Trask, yes.
Correct. Okay.
And everyone was, Florida fans have known this guy for a while. He's been in the program for a long time. But I think his athletic ability is better than his possible football IQ, I guess.
So it's almost like a Jeremy Johnson situation.
Kind of, yeah. I would say that. Or maybe, and this is kind of coming out of left field, but maybe like a Cam Newton situation, because some of the stuff that's come up recently with them with Cam.
So that's interesting. I was talking to a coworker today, and he was talking about how the Richardson, the second quarterback for Florida, kind of looked like Cam Newton.
He's
or not looked like, but mimicked. And
right.
I'm saying mimicked a lot today, but he kind of looked similar.
He
to
resembled
Cam Newton.
his playability.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah, no, I mean, he's played the part for all the stats wise and stuff like that. People are pretty excited about him. He's kind of come in and just kind of
limited,
taking it. Yeah, I mean, of course, limited with his playing a bit, with his, I guess, football IQ knowledge, being such a young quarterback in a new college world.
So, do you think that you'll see 2 quarterbacks for sure this weekend?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. I think you'll see. Probably, maybe every other series, or maybe throughout the same series. They may throw in some crazy wrinkles, goal line situations, stuff like that. I think it's going to be. There's no doubt that you're going to see them.
Do you think that this week will be the determining factor for who starts for Florida for the rest of the year?
Possibly, it's a good possibility. I mean, if Emory Jones comes out there and just lays a complete duck and doesn't seem to take control and move the ball, I don't think. You'll see him, you'll see him kind of fall back on the depth chart a little bit.
Well,
if the other guy comes in and takes over and moves it, consecutively every drive,
shows that he's got
right.
So one thing I think I found interesting, well, I definitely found it interesting. I'm not sure if I read it right, but it looked like Richardson, who has like 250 rush yards, that he leads the team in rushing.
That's very possible.
I could be wrong there, but I think that is what I read today.
Yeah, that's very possible. Dan Mullen is, he's known to run quarterbacks. Tim Tebow, Dak Prescott. He's not afraid to run quarterbacks. So it's a good possibility. Trask even. It's not a good. It's not a just coming out of nowhere that there's a new quarterback down there that can run. He's known to develop these guys for their running ability and passing ability as well. Trask last year was just absolutely phenomenal.
Do you think it's going to be a close game like last year it was in the SEC championship?
It was last year.
Do you think it's going to be a close game like that?
I don't think so, because I don't think these quarterbacks are going to be they're going to see things that they've never seen. I think Alabama's going to disguise
So you're
a
saying
lot of
these
their stuff.
quarterbacks as in the
The
Florida.
quarterback situation for Florida is going to be the determining factor. They have the players. They're consistently top 10, top 15 in recruiting all the time. Possibly even top 5, arguably. But they are. There's no doubt that they have the talent to be able to compete. Now, I just don't think one or two people on the field is going to create a winning
formula.
A winning, yeah, it's not going to happen that way. Alabama, they have freaking 5-star guys all up and down the field, so it's kind of
and behind.
And if you notice too, Alabama guys when they get in there, Saban stays on them just like the score was 0-0. In the fourth quarter.
And I'm kind of reading between the lines here. I'm not an Alabama fan, but I've kind of paid attention to what he's been saying this week, and it seems like he is almost saying that y'all think we're better than what we are.
Yeah.
As in, we're not as good as you think we are in all regards.
Now, I will say this. I don't think this team has the leadership of past teams. The reason I say that, this whole off-season, summer workout, going into fall camp, all that, Saban has, I want to say complained, but that's not, he has talked to the media more about this team not doing what they're supposed to do and not following certain things they're supposed to follow and stuff like that more than any other team that you've seen. I think that this team is weak on leadership right now. Now, that's not saying later on somebody doesn't step up, take charge, and be the man.
But I'll be honest with you, Bryce Young seems to have stepped in and taken control of that offense.
No doubt. Yeah.
And then
It's like he's never missed a beat.
I'm about to butcher this like a cow, but Henry 0222.
Henry Oto.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
That guy. I feel like he has stepped in, taking control of the defense.
Yeah.
Well, of course, he played in a similar system at Tennessee with Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, I mean, it's Pruitt, Saban, they're one and the same, basically. Maybe not as head football coaches, but when it comes to the defensive mind, they are pretty similar.
So
he is a good player. I'll give him that. Alabama has a lot of guys, linebackers that have played and have a lot of experience playing. But I think that he has come in and added more of the athletic ability. Some of the guys we have they're smart. But I'll just give you an example. Shane Lee, a couple years ago, stepped in and played when we had a bunch of linebackers down. He is just, hulked out. Monster. He can't not cover anybody. Pass coverage, he can't do it. He's not fast enough. Run defense, he can hit the holes. He can stop them. But when you ask him to cover somebody, it won't work out. It doesn't work out for him. But it just happens that way. And I think Henry's come in there and taken over and kind of done some good things along with Chris Harris.
Yeah, Henry's quick to the ball, so it's funny as you mentioned the pass coverage because he can stay with people or hawk to the ball if needed too. So
another thing too, Florida's I think it's their defensive tackle or defensive end. Somebody along the defensive line, big time guy. He's hurt for this game. I don't think he's going to be playing, so that's kind of another weakness. I'm sure Alabama's going to kind of go at the next guy head on. Early on at least, kind of show him what welcome to the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or a crazy back and forth game. I think you'll probably maybe a 31-17 kind of game. Something.
So Alabama covers the spread.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool.
I'm not a betting Mongol or nothing like that.
I just see it. So
I do think that Alabama's going to come out and score, but I just 31-17 kind of somewhere something similar to that.
I don't think Alabama will cover the spread.
You don't think so?
Not in a bad way. I just don't think they will.
I mean, it's hard to tell with some of these games, and hats off to Vegas. It's crazy how they can predict some of these games and scores.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's I think they're going to come out close early on, maybe a turnover or two. Maybe makes the difference. Yeah. It's going to be that kind of a ball game, I think.
Yeah.
So.
I do have another one thing to throw in there is the possible distraction going to kind of Penn State and Auburn real quickly before we end this. With the USC job opening up, there's been some ties that Franklin may go there. So I wonder if that's a possible distraction for this team. And
it's possible. And I have seen where he said he wants this. That is a distraction. Franklin has come out and said that is a distraction. But
He didn't deny anything.
he did exactly.
Exactly. So
he did not deny it.
I think we'll revisit this next episode for the review.
Yeah.
And we'll just kind of see
I mean, you go out, West USC. Who do you really have? You got Oregon, man, possibly UCLA now. It's you got to deal with Penn.
USC is the team.
Yeah, I mean, in the Big Ten, you got Ohio State, Michigan, and when they're decent, Michigan State when they're decent. Then you got Wisconsin, and there's some teams in there that are pretty decent. And I think you have an easier chance of winning in USC, honestly. And you got the name,
The branding.
You got the branding.
Yep.
So. No, guys, I think that's it, man. You have anything more to add to it?
No,
You think you good?
That's it. I've added my 2 cents.
Awesome. Once again, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and share it out to your friends, family. Drop a comment below. Let us know how you think these games are going to be going this weekend. Again,
the hot take. You heard it here. Comment and see if you agree, and if you disagree, let me know why.
Yeah, tell us. Drop some comments, man. Let us see them. Once again, my name is Jonathan, and I'm the Alabama fan. Roll Tide.
And I'm Austin /Auburn and War Eagle.
See you guys later.